Welcome back to Amazing Websites Television, the show where intelligent people like you come find the tools to change the rules. Welcome back to the show. Today I am in the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. You can see back here one of the most beautiful mosques in the world. And today we're going to be having a great show. We're going to be having my good friend James Reynolds, which is going to be telling us some great ideas on how to improve our search engine marketing. So let's get started. And the first section of the show is going to be handy bookmarks. Welcome back to Handy Bookmarks. Today we have 5 productivity tools that I think that you're going to find very, very interesting. The first one is called myhours.com, and myhours.com is a great way for you, if you're a consultant, if you actually are selling your time, that you can actually really keep track and also make sure that every single hour that you're billing, actually it's properly accounted for. This is a great tool, and I think that you're going to find it very, very interesting. Our next one is going to be Time Doctor, and Time Doctor is a great tool so that you will actually figure out where your time is going, that you will become more and more effective. And this is in timedoctor.com. The next tool that I want to share with you is called Toggle. And this one is very, very effective to increase your productivity. It is a clock that every time that you add a task, it starts telling you, well, how much time you're actually spending on that task. As soon as you're finished, you will know exactly how much time you actually spent doing that task. Since I started using this tool, I became a lot more focused and a lot more effective. Our next tool, which of course we're talking about tools of productivity, but this is not going to be personal productivity, but the productivity of your virtual teams. I do not know if you have staff in the Philippines or in India or in Romania or in any other country. Sometimes it's quite difficult to actually manage them. Therefore, I recommend you to use this tool, which is not for free, but I think is not really very expensive. It's called Hubstaff, and you can check it out at hubstaff.com. The last resource that I want to share with you is actually very, very fun. It's called stickwithk.com. And this is just absolutely crazy because, for example, let's say that you want to create a goal and you do not know if you will be actually sticking to that goal. Let's say that you want to lose, let's say, 10 kilos or 20 pounds or something like that. And you do not know if you will be able to do it. Well, this actually gives you an incentive. You will actually put an amount of money, and if you do not fulfill that goal, actually that money will be going to the worst charity that you could possibly think of. Like, I mean, something that you really don't believe on, or something that is really not exactly going against that is going against your beliefs and against the way that you're thinking. So obviously that makes you really confused, and of course you want to make sure that you get that goal accomplished. Therefore, those were the 5 resources that I will share with you today. And now it's time that we go to the next section of the show, which is going to be 1 app a day keeps boredom away.
In today's review, we're going to be going over one of the top paid apps called Burner, Disposable Numbers. I have it installed for us already, so let's open it up and jump right in. Burner, Disposable Numbers by Ad Hoc Labs is available for just $1.99 in the App Store. This is an awesome app if you've ever found yourself in need of a spare number for any reason, ranging from a blind date to setting up a new email account that requires a phone number. What's even cooler is that you can even get text messages with your temporary number. The way it works is with the credits that you can buy from in-app purchases that range from $1.99 to $11.99, you can buy phone numbers which you can even renew for a certain amount of time if you want to keep it. This is such a cool app. You can really stay private with this app as well. To never reveal your number, And when you're done, you can instantly trade or burn the number from existence with a simple tap. iTunes describes the app saying, "Burner provides disposable numbers for your iPhone at the push of a button. Channel your inner James Bond or simply keep things private when you need to." With that in mind, let's jump into the features. I'll walk us through some hands-on features here within the Burner Disposable Numbers app. So you can see here from the main screen, we've got the bottom that tells us that we have 4 credits available. At the top bar with the buy credits, we simply tap there. And it gives us a listing of the in-app purchases and different credit packs that we can buy. So we'll hit done. Next, at the bottom here, we hit this listing button, and you can see all of our active burners. We currently have 1 available. You can see here it says SMS notifications. There you go. 20 voice minutes or 60 SMS, and this will expire on December 1st. We simply hit back, and then we can go back to the plus button here. And so to create a burner, we just simply tap. A mini burner would be 3 credits, a standard burner would be 5, and a large would be 8. So for the mini, you can see here, get a burner number that's valid for 7 days and 20 minutes of talk time or 60 texts. So we'll choose that since we have 4 credits. Now you can see here we can choose a name for it. So for example, I'll call this one a Gmail account. And we can put a desired area code in. So let's say, for example, 210 for Texas. And it says, what am I buying? A burner that expires in 7 days. Good for 20 voicemail minutes. And just simply tap Create Burner. It's creating the number. Burner created. And there you go. There's our burner. We've got our phone number. It'll expire December 2nd. Tells us what it's good for. Now we can choose to post that to Twitter, copy to the clipboard, or even post it to Facebook. And so that's done. Next we just hit back. And now you can see on our active burners we have 2. So we go back to the main screen here, and you can see now all we have is 1 credit left. So we can either buy credits or just keep creating numbers. That basically covers the features. So let's jump into the wrap-up. I'm going to give Burner Disposable Numbers a 9 out of 10 stars. No matter what your reason is for using this app, it's very useful. I've done some pretty extensive testing with it, and it didn't fail on any count. The prices for the credits are really affordable, which is a huge plus considering what the service provides. The user interface is so easy to use that there's just nothing to it. I would highly recommend this app if you have any use for needing a spare number. Check it out. What did you think about it? Let us know. This concludes this edition of I Use This App. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on all our videos, and we'll see you in the next review.
Hi, this is James Reynolds, and in this week's SEO update, I've got a quick tip for you relating to pogo sticking. Now, I really do believe that one of the biggest factors that negatively affects search engine rank is this concept of pogo sticking. When someone finds your website within the search results, they click on that link through to your site and then immediately bounce back to the search engine results because they don't find what they're looking for or they don't like what they find on your website. Now, we really do know this to be fact because Google are always harping on about quality user experience and relevant content on your website. Now, back in 2012, Google released their search quality rating guidelines. Now, these are the guidelines that their whole army of raters use to assess a website relative to a search query. Now, of course, Google don't assess every single website on the internet manually. That just wouldn't be possible. But what Google do is take the data from their search quality raters, find some consistencies, and then work them back into the algorithm. Now, based on these guidelines that were published in 2012, we know that raters, when assessing a website useful, are looking for some of these factors: high quality, authoritative, entertaining and or recent, indicating a new style website with up-to-date information, and from a website that you would trust and is not spammy. These are some of the things that were mentioned in those guidelines. So what sort of things can we do to ensure our websites meet these guidelines? Well, the first thing you want to have a look at is your site speed. I mentioned that on an update a couple of weeks ago, but this really does affect pogo sticking. If your site doesn't load within a few seconds of someone landing on it, they're going to click the back button and go and find a site that does load very quickly. The second thing you want to have a look at is your actual content and make sure it's interesting. Now, I'd certainly recommend using a mix of media. Nothing worse than just landing up on a text-filled page. It's pretty off-putting. So put in there some images along with your text, and perhaps use video as well, because it's a nice form of media that people like to consume. Now, the third thing you want to do is make sure that your content answers the search query you're optimizing for. So if you're going after the phrase, where can I get taxation advice in the United Kingdom, make sure that question is answered within your content. Now, another thing that you can do, which is maybe a little bit controversial as far as SEOs go, is link off to other relevant information. If someone comes to your website page and they want a question answered, which is what happens when someone does a search query within Google, make sure that that search query is answered. And if that's helped by linking off to other relevant websites, then that's a very good idea for you. So this has been James Reynolds with another very quick SEO news update. I'll catch you back here again real soon.
Hi, I'm Meg, and I'm an intern at Web2Mobile at Torstar Digital.
And I'm Krista, and I'm also an intern at Web2Mobile.
Today we're going to go on a QR hunt in downtown Toronto to show you good and bad examples of QR codes.
We're looking for QR codes that meet our criteria. 1. A user experience. An experience optimized for mobile is key to success. 2. Content value. Make your content the star. 3. Environment. Your QR code should be clearly visible. Users are more likely to interact with your QR code if there's more than one QR code in their environment. Let's go see what we can find.
We've come across our first QR code. We're on Queen Street right now, and this ad looks pretty appealing to me. It's about the Festival of India. When I look at it, it's really colorful, and in the bottom corner I notice the QR code. I want to find out more, so let's scan it. I'm immediately directed to the mobile website for the festival. Here I can find out contact information, the festivities that are happening. They even have YouTube videos from the year before. And they also have an About Us section. It's really colorful. It's a very creative website, and I feel like it's a good user experience. It's definitely optimized for mobile.
Walking a little further down Queen Street, we came across another QR code, a huge display in the window of Foot Locker. So initially we thought, this is awesome. It's really eye-catching, massive, and so we tried to scan it. Eventually, we did get it to scan after multiple tries. But if it takes that long for your QR code to scan, most people are just going to walk away. Foot Locker did incorporate some great content into their QR code. It had a video, it was a great user experience, and it was mobilized. But definitely takes way too long to scan. Being on the other side of the window with so many bubbles, it's not going to work. Something funny. Right across the street from Foot Locker, we see another great QR code in the window of H&B. Massive, huge, both have awesome displays. The only difference is when I scan this QR code, instant success.
Right now we're at Osgood subway station. One of the major complaints we get from consumers is, how do I access a QR code when I have no internet access at the subway station? So let's go down and take a look at how many QR codes we can spot. So it didn't take us long to find our first QR code in the subway. It looks great, the size is great, I want to scan it. The only problem is the environment. I get no internet access down here. Let's try it out.
Arriving at downtown station.
Theo McCool's on Adelaide, where we stopped to get some lunch. If you've been to Theo McCool's for a meal, you've probably noticed their QR code on the back of the menu. McCool's definitely understands content value. If you scan their code, it quickly brings you to a mobile website. You'll see that the design is a little bit basic, but what we like is that they offer you a full menu of their bottled and draft beers. For those of you like me who don't know a lot of brands of beer, if you select a beer, a picture, a description, and a meal pairing make my choice a whole lot easier. Cheers!
Spotted. The QR code in the path in the TD7. Problem, it's not optimized for mobile. When I go to scan this code, it brings me to a desktop version. It's not optimized for mobile. Even though it says scan for details and savings, when I get there I don't know what to do. There's too much print, it's not simple, it's very confusing, and I can't access it properly on my cell phone, so I'm just going to leave the site.
Newspapers and magazines are a great place for a QR code campaign. At Web2Mobile, one of our biggest pet peeves are QR codes that are linked to experiences not optimized for mobile. Flipping through this newspaper, I found an ad for Telehop. When you scan the code, it unfortunately brings you to a desktop website. This is okay if you have an iPhone, because you have the ability to expand or to scroll around the screen. But what if I have a BlackBerry? It's definitely going to be that much harder. Now I have to zoom in, zoom out, scroll around, try to find the information, and I just want to give up. Now, looking through a magazine, I also came across another problem. This ad for John Frieda. When you scan this QR code, it simply doesn't work at all. When you scan it, it brings you to an error, and that's really the end of my interaction with this brand. We love seeing QR code campaigns around Toronto, but something you have to remember, don't be lazy. Remember to optimize for mobile.
We are now back at Web2Mobile's home base.
Thanks for trekking around Toronto with us on our QR code hunt. Today we found tons of great examples.
And some not great examples.
But one thing we agree on is that the public is totally ready for mass amounts of QR codes.
QR codes are literally everywhere nowadays. They exist to bring new opportunities and new experiences to users.
So when you create your QR code campaign, if you think of user experience, content value, and environment, then you're sure to have success.
On today's episode, I have here on the show Brian McNeil-Smith, and he has a very, very interesting software on Facebook that I think that you're going to really enjoy. So, Brian, thank you for coming to the show. So you have Easy Promos. I would be very interested in listening more about what Easy Promos is.
Okay, well, Easy Promos is a Facebook app that installs directly on a company's Facebook page. And the reason you would use it is because it has many ways for you to configure it creatively to attract fans that are relevant to your business. And you can actually use your current customer base and your current customer lists to do the marketing for you.
Okay.
And that's where the app comes in to be very popular to build actual sales in your own business.
Yeah. Cool. How would you use Easy Promos?
It's very simple. In fact, our moniker is that we're the easiest way to create promotions on Facebook pages. In 30 seconds, you install the app from our website. After that, you do a little bit of artwork in a JPEG format. You load it up to the application.
Yeah.
You put in your information like title, description, terms and conditions. You check off a few boxes whether you want a voting contest, little things like that, and you're good to go. You pick your dates, and now what you do is you promote it on and offline.
Fantastic. I hear that some of those contests are illegal in Facebook. What's the story with that?
Okay, well, when you use the term illegal, there's that word doesn't necessarily
apply to everybody.
To the Facebook promotions. What Facebook doesn't want is for them to be misconstrued as the people behind the promotion. They want nothing to do with it. So they have some rules.
Okay.
And the app that we have has to comply 100% with those rules. And the way that a user follows through with using the app has to comply to some rules. And those are, some people construe them as complicated. I construe them as just necessary rules to keep Facebook as a social platform, not a place for spamming. And you comply with these, and you've got a really good opportunity to engage fans. So it's not illegal by any sense. It's just you have to conform to certain rules that make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. Where can people on the show find more about Easy Promos?
Right down here at the link.
Fantastic.
Right at our website.
Excellent. Well, Brian, thank you very much for being on the show. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.